Hi, this is Michael William Denny of the ThunderWizard.com YouTube channel. So today I want to give you an overview of my new transformation package. And this is a service that I am going to be giving for the summer of 2017. These specials do go pretty quickly. The slots fill up pretty quickly, so I can't tell you exactly when it's going to end, but I'm going to be giving you 75% off of what it would cost if you were to get each one of these services individually at the normal rate. So let me give you an example of what each of these services are. So the three services that I'm going to be showing you today are okay, so those are the three services that I provide for you in this transformation package. So let's just get started. I'm going to go over as briefly as I can, and I'll show pictures where applicable. So the first thing I want to share with you is a typical North Star Shamanic astrological reading. Now, the North Star reading works with the same 8-direction mandala, very similar to this, where you're dealing with all of the 8 directions and the 9th world in the center. So this is the 9 worlds, and this will give you an idea of the influences that are coming to you specifically for this year. And there's always a direction, an element, a world, types of entities, energies that are working with you. So let me give you an example. Here's an example of a North Star Shamanic reading for somebody, this is based on your birth year. So for this year of 2017, this person's chart was a thunder year. So the thunder year has to do with the ether element, or in Chinese, the wood element. The direction is in the east. So this is the realm of the rising sun. In the Norse mythology, this is the dimension called Jotunheim, or giant home. This is the realm of expansive energy. The planet associated with this is Jupiter. So you can see, you can go into each one of these indications and really research to see the kinds of energies that are influencing you in any given year. So the result of somebody who's going through a thunder year is that this is a year like thunder and lightning, of initiation, of a big release of power, specifically having to do with like the spring. This is when the energy of the spring comes in to begin to create, to germinate life, to bring more power into the soil, to allow the plants to grow. On a personal level, this is a year for beginnings. So this means that if you've been looking to start a business, or you're looking to get married, or some kind of big movement in your life, this is the year to do it if you have a thunder year chart. And so all of the things that are connected to thunder and lightning, to ether, to the planet Jupiter, to the power of the giants, to the god Thor or Indra, or to all of those things connected with that. This also has a strong connection to the sun, the beginnings of life. So for this year, this would be somebody, if they wanted to start a business, this would be the perfect time to do it. This would be a perfect time to get married. This would be a perfect time to start any kind of a project. But it's really a year of dynamic intensification of your experience, of your identity. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what a thunder year does. And there's 9 different kinds of years. That's an example of the Shamanic North Star astrological reading. Now I'm going to share with you something that I've really enjoyed doing, and I've been experimenting with this for a long while now, and I'm finally seeing how powerful this is. And every time I give one of these readings, I get incredibly empowered. And anybody who's had one of these, just talk to them. They'll tell you people keep coming back to me for these more and more and more. So this is a 9-world rune reading chart. So here's a picture. Go ahead and take a look at this. This is a picture of one of my recent readings that I just gave somebody. So take a look at it, where all the runes are. It's all, again, the 8 directions plus the center, which is all of the 9 worlds. And I'm going to go talk with you as you can look at the picture. I'm going to share with you very briefly, because this is a very in-depth reading, very briefly what this individual has waiting for them. This is actually a very, very auspicious reading. So the center is the physical body. It's the manifestation of all of the other 8 directions, all of the other 8 energies. They come together and you put them all together. The combination of all of them is the physical self. So this is what you're experiencing in a physical way that everybody else can see and experience with. This is you. This is in the center, which is Midgard or Middle Earth. This is where we live. Represents the physical body. In this reading, the rune is Hagalaz, which means physical healing. So this person is going through a time of physical regeneration, physical healing. So that's obviously a good thing. We move over to the top card, which would be the northern direction. This is the mist world, or Niflheim. And in this particular rune, we've got the Yuhwaj rune. And this has to do with, in the north, unmanifested potential influences. So this means complete transformation, usually on an involuntary basis, as opposed to Hagalaz, which is voluntary transformation. Yuhwaj is involuntary transformation. It's the rune of transformation from life to death to life again, the resurrection. So it can be very challenging, but at the very least it's very transformative. So this means that there's energy coming towards this person which is going to be very transformative for them on all levels. Hasn't completely manifested yet, but they're starting to feel it. Moving to the top right, which would be the northeastern direction, or Asgard, the realm of the celestial deities. This is where we receive our inspiration. This is intense energy coming straight from the most pure source of the universe, which is the celestial deities, the unchanging, where there is no time. It's just pure being, pure essence. Very intense, very powerful, and very inspiring. That's why the gods live on Mount Olympus. That's the kind of energy that they have. And so this is a very good rune. In fact, this is where this rune wants to live, which is in the northeast, which is Uruj. Uruj is the power of the oryx, the power of the ox, but it really means unyielding determination. And this is what, this is perfect, because this is what the gods like to give. So if for this individual, they're getting the perfect filter of that energy for them. They're getting unyielding determination in an inspirational way. It's inspiring them for their whole life. So we move to the card on the right, which is the eastern direction. This is Jotunheim, or Giant Home. And this has to do with the personal identity, who you see yourself as being. I am so-and-so. This is a very personally empowering card, and this is a very personally empowering direction. The giants, as you know, the giants are all about themselves. So on the positive side, this is where we find our identity. And in this reading, this person has Fehu, which is the power of abundant resources. So what this person feels like is that there's all kinds of resources coming to them, nurturing them and empowering them to be themselves. Fehu is also a rune of support, energetic support. So this person is feeling very supported and powerful, and may actually have money coming to them that's connected to their identity. So this is the card on the right, the eastern direction. On the bottom right, we have the southeast. And the southeast is the dwarf home. This is the realm of manifestation and intention. This is where the realm of the subconscious mind, which is what we use to manifest our intention. We focus our intention and we manifest it. This is the power of dwarf home. And in this case, the person has the Sawal rune, the rune of the sun, the soul. Sawal is an ancient word that means both sun in the sky and soul. So at one point in time, you looked up in the sky and you called the sun the soul, like literally the soul. And when you talked about somebody's soul, you talked about the sun that was inside of them, their spiritual essence. And the bottom right card says, in this case, that this person has the ability to manifest their spiritual intentions into their life. So again, this is like I said, this is a great reading. So now we move to the bottom card. The bottom card is the southern realm. This is the fire home. This is the realm of actions that are performed. You know, this is what we do, what you physically do in your life. And if there are runes in there that are blocked that can cause problems, it means you don't know how to take action in your life. But if you've got a powerful rune in there that's not blocked, it means it tells you how you are taking actions or how you should take actions to get the most out of your life right now. In this case, this person has the Nauthiz rune, which is the rune of innovation, but we experience it as need. We experience it as constriction. So this person may be feeling constricted and frustrated into what actions to take. But what it really means is that that constriction is just like when our ancestors came up with the need to invent how to create fire. As opposed to running around finding, lightning strikes to light their fires, they actually figured out, we can make it. Let's do it. It's cold. They needed the fire. So they had to innovate. So this is the rune of invention. So that means this person may be feeling frustrated in what they need to do. But if they're persistent and they ask themselves, what can I do differently? How can I look at this from a different angle? Then they'll be able to take actions that will be completely revolutionary for them. And it will be as revolutionary as the discovery of fire for them. So this is the bottom card for them. The bottom left card is the southwest home. That's the hell home, the realm of the underworld. And this is the influence of the unconscious mind, one of the most important realms there is. If we don't have a grasp on what's happening in our unconscious mind, our lives will be miserable. It doesn't matter how wonderful everything else is. If you have unconscious issues of self-sabotage or pain or fear or any unresolved issues, which we all do, which is what the underworld is all about. It's working through unresolved past life issues. Well, this person has some very good indications for their unconscious mind because they have the Ehwaj rune. The Ehwaj rune is the rune of the horse, which means the union of the rider and the horse. It represents the person who has a spiritual unity with the divine, with the spiritual forces. And so this person on an unconscious level has a deep intuitive connection and a trust, which means that they have worked through a lot of issues, and so they're feeling a flow, and so that means that their life is going to have a positive flow to it, and there's going to be nothing impeding them from intending what they want. This is how the southwest and the southeast connect. The southeast is about intention, but if your southwest realm, your unconscious realm, is blocked, it won't matter what you do, you won't be able to intend anything. But in this case, this person has an intuition, a smooth flow of trust. They can intend whatever they want and bring it into reality. So again, this is a great reading. Moving to the left card in the west, this is the Wayne's home, Vanaheim, the realm of the gods of fertility, the gods of the earth. And this has a general connection to our relationship to others, how we give to others. The east is how we give to ourselves. The west is how we relate to and give to others. And in this case, the person has Manaj. Manaj is the meditative mind. This means that this person has an ability to see things right now from an objective, meditative perspective. They can look back and see what's going on. This means that they're not going to get personally offended. They're not going to be, paranoid about what people are thinking. They're going to have an awareness of where people are at and allow them to be who they are. So this is a great place to be. It means that people are going to be comfortable around you. So again, this is a really great reading. Moving on to the last card, which is the top left card, which represents the northwest. The northwest is the realm of the elves, or the light elves, or the ascended masters, the bodhisattvas, however you want to look at it. These are the ancestors of the human race who have achieved their, whatever you want to call it, enlightenment, perfection. They stand above this realm of earth and they look down on us and they guide us. But when we ask, they will guide us. So if I look at this realm, I can tell how they're connecting to the ancestral realm. And in this case, this person has one of the greatest runes you could have, which is the Ansuj rune. Again, it's not blocked. It means that their spiritual communication with the ancestors is free, which means that they are able to ask, what should I do here? And the ancestors give them advice, and they take that advice and understand it and are able to take action on it. So that's a very short idea of the 9-world rune reading. This is a very in-depth reading, and when I'm talking with somebody and they can tell me what's going on, the specifics of their life, I can really nail down not only what it is they need to do, but what they can do to really empower themselves. So let's move on. I'm going to give you a screenshot here. You can take a look at the notes that I give somebody when I give them their reading. And in order not to give away anybody's identity, I'm just going to show you what my chart says, generally speaking. And you'll get an idea of some of the things that you're going to get in a Vedic astrological reading. And you'll see that some of these things you're not going to find anywhere else. So first thing is, you want to take a look at your Vedic sign, which is, first off, you need to know that the Vedics did things a little differently. It came from the same science. Vedic astrological reading, which comes from East India, and Western astrology came from a root science from a city-state that is in what is now Turkey, but it was a city-state where they worshipped the planets. They were astronomers and astrologers, and they had perfected this science. Now this city-state no longer lives. It was absorbed by the Ottoman Turks, I believe, and so they don't, that particular religion doesn't exist anymore. But the East Indians traveled from India, as well as the Greeks came over from Greece, and they both studied from these people, and that's why Vedic astrology and Western astrology has so many similarities, but there are some differences. One thing is that Vedic astrology goes off of your ascendant for your sign, because that's how you were screwed into place and how your karma is worked out in your life. So they go from that. They go also from the moon sign, but in Western astrology they go off of your sun sign. But a Vedic astrologer will say, hey, listen, your sun is in the same sign for 30 days. That really doesn't give you an idea of who you are. Yes, that has some interconnections to your personality, your soul, but it doesn't really tell you about how everything is connected to you and how your personality expresses itself in your life, which would be your ascendant. They do also make some differences, so it's good to know these things. Anyway, bottom line is this. My Vedic sign is Leo, and my sun sign is Virgo. So that's just for me to know, and I can look at my two different Western and Vedic charts and see where the differences are. Now, the next thing that I go is I tell you what the Atmakaraka is, which is the planet that is sort of looking over your chart, acting like your high school guidance counselor. For me, that happens to be the moon. And the karmic lesson for me is that I need to see the whole world as my family. Those of you who follow my teachings know that I really bring together all of the knowledge on earth and see how we all interconnect, while at the same time keeping our own identities. This is coming out directly in my chart because that's what moon does. It wants to do just that. Then there's the Ishta Devata, which is the planet that has chosen to guide you through your spiritual progress in life. For me, that's the planet Venus. Then there's the Dharma Devata, which is the planet that has chosen to guide you through your path in life, the planet that gives you the most luck. That happens to be the moon. It's one of the reasons why I wear a moonstone in all of my videos. I'll explain that in a second. And then there's the Palana Devata. This is the planet that most people are interested in, which has to do with empowering you on the financial level. And for me, that's Mars, and we'll get into that. And then there, I can look at your chart and I can find out exactly which deities want to work with you based on the sounds, the first syllable of their name. So for me, the deities that want to work with me are Indra, which is connected to Jupiter and the Sun, Thunar or Thor, which is connected to Jupiter and the Moon, Indrani, which is a Venus goddess, Anjaneya, which is the monkey king god, which is Mars, and Angaraka, which is actually the planet Mars itself, Odin, which is Mercury, and Iduna, which is the moon. And the way I figure that out is because I know what syllables, first syllables, want to work with me, and for me it's the syllables A, E, E, Ao, and O. So any deity from any tradition that follows that, those deities are going to want to work with me. I can tell you this for yourself as well, so you can figure out which deities you should be working with to get the most out of your life. Because the idea with deities is that to get them to connect with you, if they're not really linked up to you through your astrological chart like this, then you have to do a lot of work to get their attention. It doesn't mean you can't work with other deities. It just means you have to work a lot harder to get them to notice you. It's like you got to send them a bunch of emails, a bunch of cards, some flowers and gifts before they finally go, oh, okay, all right, what can I do for you? Whereas the ones that are connected to you, they're waiting by the phone, waiting for you to call, and they want to empower you immediately. I can help you find out what those are. Then I tell you what good luck pendant stone you should wear. For me, that is moonstone, because that is already told to me by my Dharma Devata, the planet that guides me on my path. When I wear a moonstone, it empowers my body and my mind to connect to the moon. And what that does is that guides me on my path. When I wear it in public, people sense this and unconsciously want to help me. That's why it's a good luck pendant. When you connect physically with a gemstone that connects to your Dharma Devata and you wear it in public, people unconsciously want to help you, because on an unconscious level they're grateful that you're following your true path in life. So then from all of these other things, I can take a look at what your projection is, which is not how you see yourself, but how the world sees you. And when you know how the world sees you, then all you have to do is simply show up in costume as that projection. For me, I have Moon in my first house, which makes me very sensitive, makes me very introspective. When the moon is doing weird things, I get really moody and I feel vulnerable. But that's not my projection. My projection is Mars in the third house in Libra, which means people see me, whether I feel it or not, people see me as the shamanic warrior. And as you can see, I'm dressed up as the shamanic warrior. I wear the costume, the shaved head, the lifting weights, the wearing the necklaces. I'm dressed up as a shamanic warrior, and people automatically want to work with me. So when you find out what your projection is, you'll be able to get people to want to work with you as well. It's very important for luck and for career and all kinds of other things. Ritual for me, again, this is something that's different for everybody. You have to look at your chart to find out what element you want to work with, what direction you should face, what planet you should be doing, how that planet wants to be worshipped. That is only something that you can look at if you know what you're looking for in somebody's chart. Again, it doesn't mean you can't do other kinds of rituals. It just means that this is the one for this planet. It's really going to empower you. So as it turns out, since Mars is so strong in my chart, it's my Palana Devata, which means it wants to give me money. It's connected directly to my projection, which is the shamanic warrior. And there's a bunch of other things in my chart which say Mars is the planet you want to be working with, so that's what I do. And in my chart it tells me I need to face southeast, place a glass of honey water on the altar, and one of the mantras that I can chant is the one directly for the planet Mars. Now what's important here is you have to know what seed sound to put in front of it. That's also something that can only be seen by what vibrates to your spiritual name. And as you saw up in here, my spiritual name starts with Ma. That has to do with my parents did a great thing. They named me Michael, so I've already got that going. So my spiritual name has been that all my life. So I'll help you figure that out. But when I know that, then I can figure out what the seed sound is. So you can have the right deity, you can even have the right mantra, but if you don't know what the seed sound is that goes in front of the planet that you're chanting to, or the deity you're chanting to, for you might not get the best results. So mine is Ong Rang Angarakaya Nama, which is Rang is the power of fire, which is highly connected to me in my chart. I didn't make this up. I looked. It's a formula. And now I've got this formula. I know exactly how many words are in it. I know how many syllables are in it. So it's going to affect my 9th house of spirituality. All of that kind of stuff. The Ong Rang Angarakaya Nama, 4 words, 9 syllables. It takes my 4th house, my house of comfort, to my 9th house, which is the house of spirituality, and all the other things connected to it. You see, there's a science to all this. You can't just be doling out any mantra for anybody. You got to know exactly what you're doing. So the special notes for me is that my projection, as it turns out, not only empowers my career, my physical health, but it also empowers my love life. So I want to find somebody, which I have, but I want to find somebody who connects to my projection. That's where I'm really going to shine in a bunch of different directions. How do I know this? It's in my chart, and I've done it, and it works. So this is a transformation package. These are all the things that you can get. So go to transformation.thunderwizard.com. Follow the link got right here. That'll take you directly to it. Sign up. hurry, because these spaces will fill out soon, and when I run out of spaces, we will stop this. Again, it's 75% off. If you were to get all 3 of them at the normal price, you would pay a heck of a lot more. So that's it for now, my friends. Until next time, may the power that is within you be unleashed so that you can experience the best in life that is possible for you. Thanks. Talk to you next time.